Hello there, guys, gals, and NB pals. My name is Aster. I use she, her pronouns, and today we are going to begin a new Minecraft world in 1.20 with the Create Mod. What is the Create Mod? Well, for those of you who don't know, it's basically the engineer's dream mod. It adds rotational mechanics, fluid dynamics, and even trains to the game. I myself have a BA in math and physics, so this is naturally right up my alley. With that said, let's get started. Now, our first point of order, given that this is a typical Minecraft world, is to find all of our starter resources. We have some trees over this direction, and our first objective is going to be to punch a tree. I get very particular with floating trees, so I like to start from the top and cut them down. That doesn't always work out, but especially with the Create Mod, it gives us some powerful tools that allow us to be able to bypass a lot of that. Anyways, we need shelter. That's our next priority. Convenient enough, we have an NPC village this direction. And this right here will allow us to at least start to get a little bit more situated with ourselves. Yeah, we're just gonna pretend like we didn't ransack that place. We have some basic survival gear now. Our next point of order is a temporary shelter to make our way through the night. Hooray and a chair, welcome to home. Our next priority is to gather trees, more lumber, as we do need a source of light. Oh, sun's going down. A little late for that. We got ourselves a bed so we can sleep through the night. Alright, now to choppy down some trees. Oh, we got ourselves an igloo. Never mind, I think I'm gonna live there. Goodbye, tiny hole. You served me very well for one night. Hello there, new home. I'm still stuck as a nomad. Close the door, set my spawn. Yay, trapdoor! Preemptively replacing those, as those are a pain in the butt to deal with. Igloos in particular actually have a very interesting design. The entire purpose of them is to teach you about villager trading. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, this is unusual. Yeah, no, let's deal with that. Let's do this. Like I was saying, their whole purpose is actually, Mojang self-admits, is to teach you about villager trading in kind of a story-like fashion. You wonder, a first-time survivalist looking for a place to stay the night in an icy biome, and you find this igloo. Very convenient. You use the furnace, and deliberately the ice melts, so it knocks away the carpet. The whole idea is that a beginner Minecraft player might not know to check under the carpet for a trapdoor, so it reveals the trapdoor. You go down, you see this, and convenient enough, splash potion of weakness, golden apple. And this a little toss. Ta-da! In a few minutes, he will be cured. Ideally, I want this place to be a little bit brighter, so let's go back to the surface and see if we can gather some light. Yeah, this is definitely eerily dim. Get back before that gets down. And the real trick is, what we can do is we can make a few planks. We can start what we call in physics world a positive feedback loop. 2 planks equals 3 coal. 3 coal burned goes to 24 coal, which we admittedly don't have enough wood to do, but wood is a renewable resource. Since coal is now a little bit more difficult to find, this just makes things a little bit easier, at least in the get-go. What I really like about igloos in particular is that on top of being a place you can find villages, they already do some of the work in digging straight down for you. Now, I know that some of you might have a negative reaction to that. That's kind of the #1 rule of Minecraft, you don't dig straight down. But there's kind of a trick to it, and I find this is the most useful thing to do, because it saves me from having to cave right away, allows me to just gather up some iron with minimal concern. And the way I do it is I'm going to dig down like this, so that if there's a cave or anything, I can see it like that. Okay, if I dig down here, that's going to send me falling. Let's place a block there. That's why the rule is never dig straight down, but that's in a 1x1 only. Digging that 2x1, as demonstrated here, just saved me from a ton of fall damage. We're gonna go ahead and start mining like this. I should probably clarify that our next goal is to get some iron. We want to be fully kitted out, as today we might even be traveling to the nether. Anyways, I like to dig down multiples of 5 and place a torch at each of them. Oh, there goes that. Oh, this cave is being particularly obnoxious with allowing me, or not allowing me to do that, I should say. Oh, yep, okay, there's a problem. And here we have some actual coal. Though coal actually does spawn far more frequently on mountains now than underground. And because mountains aren't exactly everywhere, this does make it a lot more tricky to find than pre-1.17. And now we are at level 16, which is where all the fun begins, because underground at least, this is where most of the iron will actually spawn. And the way I typically mine, at least right from the get-go, is I'll do a pinwheel sort of formation. Well, what do I mean by that? I like to dig out 8 blocks like this, in this fashion, because mathematically this is actually one of the more efficient ways to mine, based off of the number of blocks it shows per block you mine. We'll get into that in another video. And here we are. A little bit of that. So I'll put a note saying 4 torches. And this at least allows me to know how far the cave goes down, so that I don't have to completely exhaust one and then switch to the next one. It allows me to save a little bit of time. Eventually what I want to do is I want to be able to set up a giant tunnel bore machine. Something that's going to gather a lot of resources very quickly. There's a number of videos for how to do this on YouTube at present, so for the moment I'm going to do that. That's a little bit of a pipe dream goal for the moment. I like to smelt up iron in multiples of 8, so for now we're just going to wait and hope we find some more iron. We'll start going the next direction. And here we actually hit a cave. Not the most safe place for us to be exploring. right now, especially when we don't have a shield. So for the moment, we are going to wait on that. I'll start going this direction. More iron. And here we actually have enough to start smelting up. Get some of this copper. This will be very handy later, as all of the fluid dynamics is dependent on copper. It's actually one of the things that I really love about the Create mod is that copper is not just this resource that you mindlessly gather that has two uses aside from building. No, it's actually a very valuable resource to find in this. We'll see later when we build a steam engine exactly why this is the case. Now you'll note that I very deliberately put the torches on the left side whenever I mine, and this is actually for a very specific reason, and that's to allow me to get out easier, because if I see the torches are to the right of me, that means I'm getting closer to the ladder system over there to get me out. It's one of those ones for a novice who's maybe beginning. Pro tip to help them navigate. Better be careful around here. You can hear the... Yeah, that's why. Alright. Cover that. Ooh! Ooh. Okay, we found an amethyst geode, actually. This is really good because my starter base, and I'll show you this a bit later, I actually have a ton of amethyst in it, so this is good to know that this is here. Can't go further because that's a drop off. Well, I guess I can go further. What a lucky find, though. And that's the end of that pickaxe. Said I like to do all of this in multiples of 8, just so that I'm maximizing the efficiency of my resource usage. 1 coal equals 8 iron ingots. And I'm already halfway kitted out with the armor, which is real good. In fact, over halfway, because I know that this is the most expensive and third most expensive pieces of the 4. This is the thing I like to do, is I like to set aside 3 as a backup, always. We are running low on wood again, so I am thinking that I'll go ahead and get some more. Especially since next point of order is to craft a shield, as that means we can start caving. And my god, is this the single most overpowered thing, negating the damage of skeletons completely and saving you from a creeper explosion. And this may very well be our last time actually gathering wood the old-fashioned way. Soon enough we'll have the resources to do it the spectacular Create Mod way. Alright, now we're back at home, and we got a ton of logs. Our next objective is going to go caving, because caving will actually allow us to focus fire on getting iron in particular, which is what we need to kickstart this massive industrialist machine that we have planned for this world. Now, under normal circumstances, I would go strip mining a bit longer, because I'd like to have a starter reserve of iron in order to actually create a food farm. But as you can see, we have a bit of food here, so we're good on that front. Let's start exploring. Haha! Be careful. There are definitely zombies around. Hello there. Ooh. Okay, best way to handle this. Goodbye. That's the other thing with shields, is that it negates creeper explosions completely. Better be careful of allowing them to sneak up on you like that. I've definitely had my fair share of creeper instances. Here's a Create unique ore that we've just found here, zinc. This will come in handy very later, so I'm going to go ahead and gather it. know that sound. Okay, you do you, buddy. I will come and plunder your iron, though. Where did you go? You just vanished. There you are. The thing with caving as well is that it returns a much, much higher yield of minerals. Eventually we're going to fully automate this process for iron in particular. That will be the content of another video though. Oh, this copper is going to be so useful for fluid dynamics later down the line. I guess having a dripstone biome is one of the luckier spawns for Create Mod in particular. Alright, time to make our return to the surface. And you'll see here that we have 62 iron, a much higher return of investment than when we had started. Make that a multiple of 8. Let's go. Now, as this is smelting up, I guess I should talk about what my next priority is. Obviously, that number of bread has dropped from 10 to 7, so before we actually begin building our starter base, my first priority is going to be a renewable source of food. Before building up the farm in the standard Create manner, we do need an actual farm in order to get us started, because we will eventually need some super glue. First step is to clear a flat space a little. Now, farming in particular in Create is a little bit more tricky because we do actually need to have a starter farm in order to get things kicked off in the first place. It's also tricky to farm things in frozen biomes like this is because the water will freeze over. The way we fix that is we just plop that down, and this can be waterlogged, which means the water will not freeze there. Let's go grab some now. And very deliberately, I'm going to mark off some places that we are not going to be planting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll explain my choice of why I chose not to plant in these particular locations in just a bit. Convert you into bone meal, and skeletons aren't too difficult to find anyway, so we are chilling. We actually have enough now that we can probably get started in the process of full automation. Now the first thing that we're going to need to make all of this work is what's really the heart and soul of this mod. Now the heart and soul of Minecraft Create rests on what is known as andesite alloy. And there's several ways that we can create it, one of which is going to involve iron. We're going to do that because eventually iron's going to be renewable. You'll see we got the achievement Sturdier Rocks. Using this, we can actually create some shafts. And with that, a few wood planks at our disposal, we can create our first source of power, the water wheel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to our farm. We're just going to place that like that. And you'll notice that it begins to turn. It's not actually turning right now, but soon enough it will be. Now what I'm going to do with our farm is we are going to place a fence right here. I'm going to move this water source for the moment. Just place that there. Need to go grab some more water in order for this to work. Now that that's spinning, we can close this up. Dig this away. And instead, what we're going to place here is we're going to place a shaft. Conveniently enough, shafts can be waterlogged, just like that. And this will be the basis on which we will be building the rest of this machine. And now our next step is to get a hold of what we call andesite casing. We do that by stripping the wood. There we are, a little bit of andesite casing. What we need is a mechanical bearing right here. For that we need a shaft, we need a slab, and we need an andesite casing. We have the slab, the casing, the shaft, and now we have our... oh goodness, those are pillagers. Right, time for a little bit of a fight. Go away. Don't want that omen effect. Just let you do my dirty work. Thank you. They're annoying. Anyways, place that here. We don't have anything on it yet, so it won't actually spin quite yet. For that, we're going to need some linear chassis. Go ahead and remove these. What you'll see is that we can now click that, and that's going to spin around and do all the work for us. We're not done yet, though. Now for the next part of our construction, I'm going to actually clear away a few blocks. Because it is at this point that we actually need to start using the tools of Create to get some... oh no, I forgot about that water issue. Minus the water issue, it's the tools of Create that we need in order to actually get the parts that we need to finish up our farm. For that, we're going to need another andesite casing, place, strip, place. And we are going to start off with a depot. Place the depot here. Just do it right here. Then next we want to create one iron block. And with that, we are going to be creating a mechanical press, which is also going to require one more andesite casing. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Now we just need a hand crank. And now we can go ahead and place these here. We can turn the crank, and it bonks the depot, making iron sheets. Soon enough, we'll automate this process. For the moment, this totally works. We have 8 iron sheets. We are actually going to need more andesite at this point. I gotta say, I really love how Create Mod gives andesite a block that's usually just stone that you never touch in the vanilla game, and actually use and reason to go mine out in bulk. Like, I really wish Mojang did that a lot with some of their older features as well. Now, what we can do is we can create mechanical saws. We need 4 of them, which which yes, does cost quite a bit of iron to produce, but in the end it's definitely going to be well worth our time. Out, left. Yep, that's a creeper. There are 3 of them. What the heck? The reason we had at least those 4 torches there was because this is where these end up living. And sooner or later we're going to be planting seeds into this 4x2 area as well. Though not on the interior here in these 4, because of the fact that the claws can't actually reach inside that, there's kind of no reason to plant stuff there. We'll just keep those as light sources. Now our next step in this contraption is we're actually going to need to stick on a couple things. These mechanical harvesters auto stick on, which is real nice, but the rest of what we are going to be placing on doesn't, so we actually need super glue for that. Super glue requires slime balls, which is actually, we don't have to hunt for slimes as we would in the vanilla game. There's a way that we can get around it in Create that allows us to get slime balls. So for that, what we're going to need is another depot. We are going to be creating an encased fan. So to do that, we need a propeller, which tells us that we're going to need 4 iron sheets. It's going to... Wait, no, we do. Time to smelt this up. Oh, more in here. So place that there. 4. And this gives us everything we need. We need 1 more andesite casing. And this will give us the encase after we make some shafts. We already have shafts. We now have an encased fan, which we can place right here. And what I'm going to do is force the place again. How wonderful. It's actually 2 cogwheels. Bam, bam. And a shaft. Bam. You can see now that this is actually sucking us in. If we crouch, it'll do the exact opposite. You see how it's blowing us away? Literally not touching the keys there. It's just the wind that's doing that. Now why do we need this? Well, take a fence, go and place the fence right here. Now what we can do is place water down. That might actually be a problem. Now what we can do is we can place the wheat on the depot and we can process it like so. Which is why we needed that first farm from the get-go. Oh. Well, I was just being dumb. There's a first step that we need before that. For this, we're going to need a millstone. Which now we can place that there. Place the cog here. What we do is we can drop this wheat in here. In there. There we go. We can now spin this to process the wheat. And from that we got wheat flour as well as some more seeds actually, so we can go plant those in a minute. Now we can wash it. and we get dough. We actually have bones, and so in fact we actually have everything we need for this. Put the flower pot down, and go ahead and cook up that cactus. Combine these two, and we're going to get 2 lime dyes. And with that, we have 2 slime balls. Precisely what we need for the super glue. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, is it the other way around? Yep, other way around. And now for our next step, we can create a chest. Bam, like that. Now we want to shoot. Because this is going to allow us to construct portable storage interfaces. Place 2 of those there. Now we finally have just about everything we need for this. We can now go up here. Place this right here. Place a chute on the ground. Take that out. Place that right there. And finally, we just want a chest. Now we have one more thing to do. We just need to do a little bit of bam, 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 like that. Although, actually, that was a waste, because that would have been the perfect demonstration for harvesting all of this on. Oh well. I'm going to change the motion mode to only place when anchor is destroyed. This is a bit buggy sometimes, that's why I like to do that. And here we go. As the seed grows, what's going to happen is that it's going to be moved into the chest once it harvests. And you see how those kisses there? Well, what that's doing is that's transporting the item from the chest out to here. This shoe has a little bit more, so it's slightly different functionality than a traditional hopper does, but for the moment it's acting as a traditional hopper, which is going to end up putting the items into our chest right here. This machine will also replant what we've planted, but it won't actually create new tilled land. That's going to be something we have to do independently. So for the time being, we're just going to want to let this keep running. We are coming this close to the end of the video. Now, admittedly, this isn't something that I would typically do, but here we are actually in my creative super flat world. I figured we'd just pop by here because this video was a little bit bland, didn't include everything that I wanted it to, only because I ran out of time. So I wanted to give you at least a little bit of a teaser of what else I've been working on, so that for next week, when my video does drop, you'll kind of know what to expect. So this is a little something that I have been working on in my creative world. This is going to be our starter home. And we go in here, you'll already see that there's several crate blocks that are implemented in here. We also have this unique elevator-like thing. Why is there a bat there? That shouldn't be there. Anyways, we have this, and I figured that it would give it kind of sort of a workshop-y feel. You can see that we go up. We got all the gears on the ceiling. We got our typical standard enchanting setup, bed, everything that a starter base could want. We can come back down. I'm also thinking about building another level to this to make it 3 layers. We shall see though. For the moment it is 2. But the idea is that we're going to be using this thing right here, the schematic cannon. And after we collect all the blocks, it's actually going to do all the building for us, and we'll get all into that in next week's video. For now, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. If you found this, I really appreciate you taking the time. If you got to the end of the video, please leave a comment if you have any feedback. I'd definitely love to improve my videoing skills. And with that said, I hope you have a good week. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.